The first time I got a tip-off that some fish were really biting well on trolling, my friend and I picked up a couple of big crankbaits and we went out and started trolling some weed edges. And naturally we got snagged a lot at first because we would be running up into the weeds. And finally we learned that if we used floating baits and stayed near the edge, and if we would do pretty good, and if we got too far into the weeds, we could slow down and the baits would rise up over the tops of the weeds and we wouldn't snag that often. Once we got our trolling passes down though, when we hit good times, bang, sometimes we get a nice big fish, or I can remember several really good double headers where both rods would just go boom and bend right over, and we'd put the boat into reverse and hold there, and just these big fish had come popping up to the surface and fighting and running hard, and it was really real exciting because they were supposed to be the fish of a lifetime or 10,000 casts, and here we'd have two 20-pounders on at the same time. So it's all an odds game, boy. You just play the odds and you work effectively, and you too can catch muskies.
How fast can fish swim? Well, that really depends on the species. Studies have shown some saltwater fish like sailfish and marlin have burst speeds in excess of 50 miles per hour. Freshwater predators like muskie, walleye, and bass can actually swim 4 times faster than you could possibly crank a lure. Speed can be an extremely powerful trigger for making fish bite that few anglers take advantage of. Let's join Al Lindner and Dan Sura with some insight on power trolling.
Feels like a pretty good one by the head shakes.
Okay.
There she is. Oh, it's a beauty, Al. Look.
Big bite, nice fish.
Oh, yeah.
Nice fish, Dan.
She ate that bait. Look at that.
Ooh, I love it. I love it.
Well,
big
here, you
lures,
get her.
you
Okay,
get
here.
big- you get big
Get her in. Yeah, you betcha.
Yeah, you.
Whoa! It's a little green yet. I'm just going to let her.
Boy, is she heavy. I mean, she is really heavy.
Boy, she hit too. She stopped that rod. Boy, they just won't give up. Well, it's going to come again. You think this lure is big? This thing probably eats walleyes or whatever else is in the system twice as big as this lure. Are you going to behave now? Okay, you ready? Oh, look at that! Huh? Does trolling work or what? Here. Okay, careful. You want to be careful with these toothy critters.
Watch it.
Come on.
Okay, beautiful.
Huh?
Look at that belly.
Look at that. Look at that. She just fed. What does a fish like this eat? Just about anything it wants. Whew.
Okay, back you go.
Ugh. You know, one of the surefire ways for catching summertime fish, I'm talking fish of all species, but particularly muskies and northerns, is speed trolling. And what do I mean by speed? Well, they're slow, medium, and I mean fast. And you know what? You can't reel or probably troll a lure fast enough that a fish can't catch it if it wants to. Speed and summertime go hand in hand for both attracting and triggering some of the biggest fish of all species.
Okay, Dan, let's set up and go right back over that again. There's a couple saddles between here and these other islands that should hold some fish. It's ideal trolling water. Easy, easy trolling with these lip crankbaits.
Now, when you're trolling and you're looking at a structure, plan your trolling passes so that you can hit the major structural points. Then if you bang a fish or two, you can always go back and cast it.
If I'm coming in on each structure, if I go out on a point, I'm coming across it this way with a trolling pass. Then I'll come way around and I'll come back across it this way out toward the side and off the end with a trolling pass. Now, some of these spots we will even stop and cast because they got little pockets between the boulders and key little target areas. So we'll make some trolling passes around the key structures first. Then I'll stop and make a few casts, see if there's any muskies tucked between the rocks or a pike in a weed bed.
There he is. Fish, Al. It's a decent one.
I gotta change colors. You got the hot
yeah,
color.
I got the hot color, and I love it.
That's a pike. Another nice pike, man. It's a muskie. Yeah, ain't bad.
No,
Here, start out.
oh, muskie. Right off of that wall. You gotta be careful here. We got these treble hooks. He's probably gonna do this one more time. Ah, ski, Al. Woo. You know, take a look at the size of that bait, folks.
You holding her?
Yeah, I got her.
Oh boy, she's hooked pretty good.
Yeah, she is right through the snoot. You know, sharp hooks are really critical, and a good lockup system, sharp hooks and strong line and the proper equipment for landing fish like this and even bigger ones. And when you take a look at the size of the bait, these fish eat unbelievably large items. You think about how many times you muskie fishermen, walleye fishermen, you've been out there and you've seen a fish hammer a 3-pound walleye. And believe me, baits are made more for fishermen than for fish, because I think if we could handle bigger baits in our equipment, the fish would bite on them.
You know, it's been documented that muskies and northern pike prefer forage that's about 20% their size. In other words, a 20-pound northern or a 20-pound muskie prefers eating about a 4 or 5-pound walleye, sucker, bass. I don't know, but that's pretty good sized fish. I don't know what they're telling me, but it ain't good, whatever it is. They don't like us in this area. I knew it was a good spot. They better watch it out there. Want them to get eaten by a muskie. See these little points of rocks, these little rock projections? That's when I'm walking that bait. It's zinging, zing, 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 right across that stuff. As soon as it breaks free, that fish is on.
You know, another important thing, when Al's coming over these shallower humps, I can just lift my rod to keep my lure running at the proper depth so I'm not snagged all the time. And you'll be surprised. You bang into a rock and get locked up, drop the rod tip quickly. Sometimes the lure will float out and you just continue trucking. These things are amazingly snag resistant when you fish them properly.
You know, we're pulling plugs right now, deep diving lip plugs. But the same principle of speed like this works with all kinds of lures. If we were fishing weed beds, we'd be pulling big bucktails, trolled real fast, zipped over the top of the weed beds. It'll trigger fish that you'd never be able to move by standard casting methods. Speed is the trigger. It's not just the type of lure. It works with all lures.
Fish! Right off the tip of that point. Oh, but I gotta snub the drag down.
Fish.
Yeah, it is.
That's a big fish.
You came around that corner and that bait just started pounding the rod. And she hit. Boy, this color's hot. And I'm the one that says that color is probably the least important thing when it comes to presentation.
She's gonna break. That's a big fish.
This is a big fish.
I know it is. I can tell the way she's pounded down there. She's gonna. That's a big muskie. I'll bet you anything. That's a big
Oh,
fish.
is that heavy?
We ain't even seen her yet.
Oh,
look at that beauty. I knew she was a big one in there.
Oh, man.
The thing is like that. Look at her. She's gonna come up again.
Look at
the size. Look at a monster that thing is. Take her easy. I don't know how. I didn't see the lure in her mouth. I don't know how she's hooked.
Let me tell you something, folks. When we talk, there she is.
Oh, look at that. She's a
Sharp hooks, good knots, strong line, the proper equipment play a real key role in being able to land fish like this. This fish is really, I don't know who's got
the size of that thing.
She's unbelievable.
Huge. Holy moly. I don't want to touch her. She's only got one hook in her, Dan, so let me take her easy. I'll get her.
Okay.
Boy, that's a beautiful fish.
It is.
Speed trolling is incredible at what it does to trigger huge muskies and northerns in summer. Amazing triggering effect. One that most people don't pay attention to. Oh, look at that. Oh, Lord. Easy, easy with that one hook, Dan.
Gonna play her out.
Yeah, take her real easy. She's only got one hook in her. Real easy, bud.
That's good. That's a good strong hook, though. Look at it. She's easy a long way.
You know what? He's got one color of that lure. He's
and
catching all the big fish. But I don't care.
You know what really hurts? I had the other one earlier this morning. Whoa! And I lost it in the snag. And it was Al's lure. This very well could be one of the larger muskies I've ever caught in my life.
Do I get credit for running the boat? I'm the
Oh,
boatman. I'm
look
supposed to
at
get
her.
credit for running the boat.
Oh.
Let me get her in a position. I got to be able to grab her, Dan.
She's gonna go one more
Okay,
time,
I
Al.
know that. Let me get back here where I can easily grab her.
You got a glove?
No,
See,
that's all right. I'll get her.
We really should have a cradle.
I forgot it. What?
I know. We need a cradle. I mean, more big monster muskies are lost at the boat. How do you handle an animal like that? Look at it. Oh. I'm really leery of putting pressure on that thing on that wrong side here.
No, don't put no pressure. Don't worry about it. I'll get her. Okay, now keep it free spooled, Dan.
It's free spooled now.
Okay, now, you big ugly mother. There you go, Bubba. Look at that. Yo, I'm gonna drop it. You got her? I'm gonna get the players. You got her?
I got her.
Okay.
Yo, look at that! Look at the size of that fish!
Oh,
the speed
Lord.
trolling work, let me tell you, it really works. Woo!